LBC Irregulars, a Sherlock Holmes podcast radio episode brought to you by the LONGBOX CRUSADE. This is episode 18 of the radio show series. On this episode, we will listen to the new Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, The Manor House Case, Season 6, Episode 7. It aired on October 15th, 1945, and featured Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce. I want to give a thanks to the Arthur Conan Doyle Encyclopedia website. They keep me straight on all these numberings of seasons and whatnot. Now, after we listen to the show, my guests and I will discuss our thoughts on it. We invite you to be part of that conversation. You can leave us a voicemail with your thoughts at 707-532-5269. That's 707-532-LBOX. Or you can comment on the show at LONGBOX CRUSADE, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Or you go old school and contact us with email, contact@longboxcrusade.com. Your comments might just get played on a future episode. Now it's time for the show. Let us dim the lights and travel back in our minds to a London of the past, through the chilled and foggy streets of London to 221B Baker Street.
This episode from the life of Sherlock Holmes will be transmitted to our men and women overseas by shortwave and through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Petri Wine brings you Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce in the new Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. The Petri family, the family that took time to bring you good wine, invites you to listen to Dr. Watson tell us another exciting adventure he shared with his old friend, that master detective, Sherlock Holmes. And I sure wish you could listen to this story with a glass of Petri California Port right at your elbow. Petri Port. That's the wine that's perfect after dinner when you're just taking things easy. And say, if you've never tried Petri Port, if you've never tasted that wonderful, rich red wine, well, this is the week to do it. I'll tell you why. This is National Wine Week, sort of a celebration we're having to mark the return to good living. Your wine merchant is kind of rolling out the red plush carpet this week, and among other things, he wants to prove to you that you just couldn't ask for a more delicious wine than Petri wine. Why don't you take him up on it? And begin by becoming acquainted with Petri Port. You'll really love it, and so will your guests. And say, you can serve Petri Port proudly, because after all, the name Petri is the proudest name in the history of American wines. That's a fact. Well, here's the patio of Dr. Watson's Northern California bungalow, but where's the doctor?
Here I am, Mr. Bartell. Out you come.
Okay, I'll be right there. Oh, sitting by the fish pond, huh, Doctor?
Yes, my boy. It's rather pleasant out here for a change. Has it ever occurred to you how stupid the expression of a goldfish is, Mr. Bartell?
Well, I can't say I've ever given it much thought, Doctor. Why?
You see this foolish little fellow here with his silly little mouth opening and closing as though he were constantly astonished?
What is this? I thought you were a fish lover.
Yes, I am. But as I was brooding over tonight's story, that goldfish seemed to be making faces at me as though it was trying to remind me of how my face must have looked on a certain June evening in 1890.
It sounds to me as if you're going to tell a story against yourself, Doctor.
I am, young fellow, my lad.
What happened?
One Sunday morning in 1890, I dropped round to visit my friend in Baker Street. Mrs. Hudson told me that he was out, but suggested that I wait in our old rooms for his return and promised me a pot of strong tea with some buttered scones as an inducement. As I walked into the sitting room, I was astonished to see Holmes standing there, a bag in one hand and a coat in the other.
Hi, dear chap. How are you?
I'm fine, Holmes. I'm surprised to see you, though. Mrs. Hudson told me that you were out.
I have been, Watson, on a case. I just returned by my private entrance for some necessary apparatus.
Oh, could I come with you? My wife's free, you know, but my practice is quite slack at the moment.
Not even my trusty old friend Watson can accompany me on this case. It's a ticklish business. The fate of two nations hangs in the balance. I must work alone. Sorry to leave you like this, old fellow. Goodbye.
Mrs. Hudson's making me some tea and some buttered scones. Can't you wait and share them with me?
Huh? Good old Watson. You're the one fixed point in a changing age. Empires are tottering, and you talk of tea and buttered scones.
Oh, I'm sorry you must be awful. Goodbye, old fellow.
Oh, don't look so sad, old fellow. When the time is ripe, I'll tell you all about the case, and you can write it up in your memoirs. Goodbye, old boy.
Buttered scones. I haven't got any appetite for them now.
Did you enjoy the scones, Dr. Watson?
Oh, I'm afraid my appetite disappeared when Mr. Holmes left.
It did it? I see you've eaten them all just the same.
What? Oh, yes, so I did.
I've got a surprise for you, Doctor. Inspector Lestrade is downstairs.
Oh, is he?
He came to see Mr. Holmes, but when I told him he was out, the inspector said he'd like to see you.
Oh, he did? Oh, splendid. I'll ask him to come up, please, will you, Mrs. Hudson?
Aye, sir. Will you come up, please, Inspector?
Thank you, Mrs. Hudson.
Can I butter you up a few more scones?
No, thank you. I really couldn't eat.
I'll just go and make some more the same. He'll eat them if I fix them, Doctor.
No, really, thank you. There you are, Lestrade.
Hello, Dr. Watson. Here's a pretty kettle of fish and no mistake.
Huh? What's the trouble?
Well, I want Mr. Holmes' help on a most important case. Where's he gone?
Well, he's out on a very, secret matter.
You know where he is, Doctor?
Well, naturally I know where he is, Lestrade. My old friend never keeps me in the dark. But I'm not at liberty to tell you. Perhaps I could help you a bit. After all, I'm not exactly unfamiliar with my friend's methods.
That's true, but just the same... Oh, well, Doctor, two heads are always better than one, even if one is a sheep's head, as my old mother used to say.
Are you suggesting that I'm a sheep's head?
No, I'm not suggesting anything, Doctor. I'm just telling you what my old mother used to say.
I'm really not very interested in what your old mother used to say. And now, Lestrade, your problem, please.
Well, it's simple enough, Doctor. A German diplomat, Graf Otto von Eldenstein is his name, is in England on a very secret mission.
Graf Otto von Heldenstein? Yes, I've heard of him. Pray continue.
Well, this von Eldenstein staying at the Manor House at Hampton Wick, not far out of London. This morning, somebody slipped past his guards and threw a bomb into his study. His secretary was killed, and he would have been too, if it hadn't been that he'd left the room a few minutes earlier.
Well, these second-hand investigations are very little use, Lestrade. We must both go down to the Manor House at Hampton Wick and examine the situation on the spot.
All right.
Get out the timetable and look up the next train, will you?
Yeah.
And while you're doing that, I'll go and tell Mrs. Hudson where I'm going.
All right, you are, Doctor.
Here are the scones, but I was just bringing them up to you.
Scones? Well, who can think of scones when an empire is tottering?
Are you sure you're feeling quite well, Doctor?
Of course I am. Now, listen to me, Mrs. Hudson. If Mr. Holmes should return, please tell him that I've gone to Hampton Wick with Inspector Lestrade to investigate the von Heldenstein business.
The von Heldenstein business. Aye, Doctor, I'll tell him that.
Mr. Holmes didn't tell you where he was going, did he?
No, Doctor, he didn't.
Oh, I see. All right. Well, thank you, Mrs. Hudson.
Are you sure you don't want the scones, Doctor?
I might as well take him along. I just say Lestrade could eat him.
Aye, you're the one, Doctor.
Yes, I suppose this is rather exciting. Just the same, I wish I knew what Holmes was doing at this moment.
You are Herr Sherlock Holmes.
Yes, I presume Graf Otto von Heldenstein is expecting me?
Yeah, Herr Holmes. He was so anxious that you would come here to the Manor House.
I left immediately after I got his summons.
He's very weak. He has lost much blood from the injuries he received this morning.
Injuries that no one knows about, eh?
Nein, Herr Holmes. Only I, his old and faithful servant, knows. Follow me, please. I will take you to him.
Franz, is that you, Franz?
Ja, Herr Graf. And with me is Herr Sherlock Holmes.
Thank heaven you are here, Holmes.
I hope I can be of service to you, sir.
You can. You can be of great service. Sit close to my bed, Holmes. I have not much strength to speak.
I'm listening, Herr Graf.
You must impersonate me.
Yes, so I gathered when I received your message.
I am in England on a most delicate and important mission for the German government. Within a few weeks, your government and mine will conclude a treaty outlining the German and British spheres of interest in Africa.
I see. Obviously, that bomb was thrown this morning by someone who does not wish the treaty to be concluded.
Yeah, exactly, Herr Holmes. That is why you must impersonate me. In 24 hours' time, I shall be well enough to resume my work. In the meanwhile, you can keep the secret of my injuries and also have the opportunity of finding the assassin.
I'm quite prepared to undertake the impersonation, sir, but how can I possibly hope to deceive the members of your personal staff?
With the exception of Franz here and poor Fräulein Ullmeyer, who was killed in the explosion that injured me, my staff is new. They have joined me here from the German consulate in London. They will believe that you are me.
Very well, sir. I'll try it.
I have heard of your skill in the art of disguises, and also it seems to me we are not so unlike each other.
I was about to comment on that fact myself, sir. Yes, I think that moustache and side whiskers will work wonders. If I can make the accent reasonably convincing.
I will coach you, my friend.
Splendid. Help me off with my coat, will you, Franz? Get me towels and a mirror.
Jawohl, Herr Holmes.
And while I'm applying my makeup, Herr Graf, perhaps you will be so good as to give me the complete circumstances regarding this morning's attempt on your life. If I'm to impersonate you successfully, I must have all the facts at my fingertips.
Wunderbar. It is amazing, Herr Holmes. Even I can hardly tell you from my master.
Yes, I think it's the wig that puts the finishing touch to my disguise. How does it look to you, Herr Graf?
Mm-hmm. Colossal. I feel as if I were looking into a mirror.
And my accent, you find it reasonably convincing?
Oh, yeah. Extremely so. Try it once again, Herr Holmes.
Ja, Herr Graf. It gives me the greatest pleasure to do what you ask of me.
Prächtig, splendid, Herr Holmes, splendid.
A cab is drawn up at the gate. 2 men are getting out. You can see them from the window here.
Oh, it's the police, possibly, or... Great Scott! It's Watson and Lestrade.
Friends of yours, Herr Holmes?
One of them is my close colleague, and the other is a detective inspector from Scotland Yard.
Oh, you must keep up the deception, even with your friends.
As a matter of fact, my friend's investigations will prove an excellent mask for my own search for the assassin. But, well, this is a delicious situation. I hope they won't recognize me. I am Graf Otto von Heldenstein, gentlemen. You wish to see me?
How do you do, sir? My name is Watson, Dr. Watson, and this is Inspector Lestrade of Scotland Yard.
How do you do, sir?
Inspector, Dr. Watson, may I ask if I have the great distinction of addressing the Dr. Watson, friend of Sherlock Holmes?
Oh, I'm very flattered that you know me, Herr Graf.
But who does not know the great Dr. Watson? In my country, many people think that you are the real brains of the combination. Tell me, Herr Doctor, is that true?
Well, I wouldn't exactly say that, sir.
Of course, you have both come here to investigate what occurred this morning.
Yes, we have, sir.
Please sit down. If you can find any furniture that is unbroken.
Oh, thank you, sir. I must say the place is a mess. And now, Herr Graf, please tell us exactly what happened.
Yeah. I will tell you everything, Herr Doctor. This morning I was working in here with my secretary, poor Fräulein Ullmeyer. I had occasion to go upstairs to my room to get some necessary papers. As I came down the staircase to return here, I heard a scream from Fräulein Ullmeyer. A moment later, there was the most frightful explosion. The concussion stunned me. When I came to, my poor secretary was dead.
What people were inside the house at the time of the explosion?
The servants were all at the church. The only people here was my secretary who was killed. My servant Franz, I can vouch for him because he was upstairs when I went for my documents. There were 3 other people in the house, however. Madame Lisa Barona, my hostess, and the owner of this house. A young Englishman from the Home Office. His name is Hilary Adams, and the 3rd person in the house was a member of the German embassy, Colonel Schweiger.
Oh, then it's just a matter of cross-questioning the 3 of them as to their alibis at the time of the explosion. I'll take them one at a time, Lestrade. Ring for that servant fellow. What was his name?
Franz.
Franz, that's the name.
This is a rare privilege to watch a master detective at work.
Yes, Herr Graf. I shouldn't be surprised if my methods teach you quite a bit about the art of detection.
Herr Dr. Watson. This is Colonel Schweiger of the German Embassy.
Where were you, Colonel Schweiger, when the explosion occurred this morning?
I was discussing the military tactics of Clausewitz with one of the guards near the front gates.
Yeah, well, what was the name of the guard, sir?
Carter. Mr. Arthur Carter.
Yeah, I'll check on that.
Thank you, Colonel Schweiger. Please ask Madame Lissa Verona to come in with...
Questions, nothing but questions. Leave me alone.
Sorry, madam. All I want to know is, where were you when the explosion occurred this morning?
Where was I? In my boudoir, listening to that stupid dabblings of the young Englishman, Hilary Adams. Herr Graf, when I offered you my house, I did not know that I would have to put up with the love-making of your staff. Everywhere he followed.
No. Please don't get so excited, Madame Verona.
Questions. Stupid young English puppet making calf eyes at me. My beautiful house blown to pieces. No, you do it.
Mr. Adams, where were you when the explosion occurred?
In Madame Verona's suite.
You swear to that?
Of course I do. You may ask her.
I've already done so, sir. Thank you, Mr. Adams. Thank you. That's all. You go. Well, Lestrade, did you check on Colonel Schweiger's alibi?
Yes, Doctor. He was telling the truth. He was talking to the Colonel when the explosion happened.
Dear me, Herr Doctor, your examination has not been very successful, has it, sir? Everyone has an alibi.
Yes, but the alibis of Madame Verona and the young Englishman, Hilary Adams, depend on each other's words. They might be lying. And you've been dealing with criminals as long as I have, Herr Graf. You learn to look far deeper than the obvious. Yes, Lestrade and I shall return to London now and make some inquiries. You will hear from me, sir, before the day is over.
Yes. Well, I'm much obliged to you, Doctor, for a very nice meal. Although we've been talking in circles.
Not entirely. Anyway, I have come to one important decision.
Oh, and what's that, Doctor?
Madame Verona is addicted to the use of drugs. The pupils of her eyes were contracted to pinpoints. It's an invariable indication of drug addiction. Lestrade, you go to Scotland Yard and see what you can find out about her, and I'll go back to my house. You can meet me there later. I wish Mary wasn't away. It's the cook's eye out, confound it. I can't see a thing. I'll strike a match. That's better. Hello? Who's that in the drawing room? Who is it?
Watson! I thought you'd never come.
Holmes, where on earth do you spring from?
Never mind that, old chap. I've come to warn you. Keep out of the von Heldenstein business if you value your life.
Well, how did you know that I was working on the case?
I'm now, but I implore you. Keep out of it. There are dangerous forces at work. Forces that would snuff out your life without a thought. Please believe me, old chap. And do as I... Quick, Watson! Under the lining...
You'll hear the rest of Dr. Watson's story in just a few seconds. All the time I need to remind you that, what with this being National Wine Week, if you want to take a gift to a young lady, why not take her a bottle of Petri California Muscatel? Petri Muscatel is the kind of wine you'd serve a queen. That Petri Muscatel has the flavor of plump, sun-ripened Muscat grapes, and is it ever good? You couldn't ask for a more delicious after-dinner wine, or a more delicious wine to serve when company comes. Remember, it's Muscatel, but the important thing is, it's Petri. Petri Muscatel. And now back to Dr. Watson and tonight's adventure, the Manor House Case. Well, that was a fine place to break off your story, Doctor, I must say.
Mr. Basil, I thought I'd keep you in as much suspense as possible.
Well, what happened next? Were you Holmes injured when that bomb exploded?
No, my boy. The concussion of the explosion knocked me out for a few minutes. When I came to, Holmes had disappeared.
And I can imagine where he'd gone. Go on, Doctor.
Soon after that, Lestrade arrived on the scene, and after a quick and fruitless examination of the premises, we decided to return once more to the Manor House. And so, an hour later, I was telling my story to the man I still thought to be the Graf Otto von Heldenstein.
Dreadful, Herr Doctor. The bomb might easily have killed you.
Oh, I was ready for it, sir. Quick thinking and presence of mind are my stock in trade, you know. When I heard the ghastly crash, I found myself under the dining room table.
I'm most distressed that you yourself should be exposed to such danger.
Not at all, Herr Graf. As a matter of fact, I exposed myself deliberately to the attack. It's an old army trick, you know, what we call drawing the enemy's fire.
Calm now, Doctor. You don't mean to tell us that you expected to have that bomb chucked through the window at you?
Of course I did, Lestrade. The assassin knew that I was working on the case. He followed me to London and fell into my trap, just as I intended him to, by showing his hand.
Well, I don't see what he's got you, Doctor.
I myself must admit I cannot see that you are any nearer to finding the murderer.
On the contrary, sir, the case is nearly solved.
Well, I don't see how you figure that one out, Doctor.
Elementary, my dear Lestrade, elementary. One of the 3 people under suspicion followed me to my house tonight. The second bomb was thrown at approximately 7 o'clock. Now, it's only a question of finding which one of the 3 cannot account for his movements at that time. Then we shall know the murderer.
You want to cross-examine them again, Doctor?
Yes, Lestrade, bring them in, please. One at a time. Colonel Schweiger, where were you at 7 o'clock tonight?
Discussing the military tactics of Clausewitz with Mr. Carter of the Home Office Guards.
Great Scott, that's what you were doing at 11 o'clock this morning, too.
It would take many days of discussion for 2 students to appreciate all the subtleties of Clausewitz.
Yeah, I'll check on that again, Doctor.
Thank you, Lestrade. And please ask Madame Verona to come in, will you?
Questions, and still more questions. Where was I 7 tonight, you ask me? I was listening to more babblings from that stupid young Englishman. Ask him for yourself.
Mr. Adams, where were you at 7 tonight?
With Madame Verona in her boudoir.
There is a curious sameness about the pattern of life in this house, is there not, Herr Doctor?
Well, I checked on Colonel Schweiger's statement. It was true. He was talking to Carter at 7 o'clock, all right. Well, could the other 2 account for themselves, Doctor?
Oh, once again, they alibied for each other, but this time I begin to doubt them.
Oh, why do you say that, Herr Doctor?
Oh, I would accept Madame Verona's alibi for young Adams. Obviously, she loathes the boy and wouldn't perjure herself for him. On the other hand, he worships her, and I'm certain that he wouldn't have any scruples about lying to provide an alibi for her.
You've got a point there, Doctor.
Yes, I regard her with great suspicion. Yeah, come in. Yes, Mr. Adams?
Dr. Watson, I've been worrying about Madame Verona. I was afraid you wouldn't believe my alibi for her.
Indeed?
I have another, an unbiased witness who can testify that Madame Verona was in this house at 7 tonight. Come in, Franz.
Jawohl, gnädiger Herr.
Franz, did you see Madame Verona at 7 tonight?
Ja. I take up 2 glasses of sherry to her. It was a few minutes before 7.
Thank you, Franz. Thank you, Mr. Adams. I appreciate your concern. You may go.
Seems to me we're still traveling in circles, Doctor.
On the contrary, my dear Lestrade, the case is solved.
Indeed. You astonish me, Herr Doctor. Who is the guilty party?
You'll know in a minute, sir. Lestrade, bring the 3 suspects in here, please.
Right, sir.
When they are assembled, I will give you the solution to the mystery. Ladies and gentlemen, the mystery is solved, and I must apologize for any little inconvenience that you've undergone. You, Madame Verona, you, Colonel Schweiger, and you, Mr. Adams, have all unshakable alibis. Therefore, the solution's obvious. As my dear friend Sherlock Holmes has often said, eliminate the impossible, and whatever remains, no matter how improbable, is the truth. Therefore, the only person that could have thrown both bombs is you yourself, Graf Otto von Heldenstein.
Why, George, I believe you're right, Doctor.
What have you got to say for yourself, sir?
That I, too, Herr Doctor, have an unshakable alibi.
Oh, what is it?
I was with you, Herr Doctor, when the second bomb was thrown.
What on earth are you talking about? I was alone, sir.
Oh, come now, old fellow, that's not true.
Holmes.
What?
Holmes, how could you?
Mr. Holmes.
Well, strike me. Don't be angry with me, old chap.
Oh, you made a complete
No, not
fool of me,
at all, my
Holmes.
dear fellow, not at all.
I've never
I
seen
suppose
any...
you got the real solution to the case as usual, Mr.
Yes,
Adams?
Mr. All, I have.
Well, let's hear it then. Might as well show me up
Oh,
to the
my dear
acid
Watson,
I'll be,
stop
huh?
berating yourself. You really handled the case very well. You made only one mistake.
Huh?
May I revise that dictum of mine which you just quoted? Eliminate the possible, and then if nothing remains, some part of the impossible must be possible.
Which part?
Colonel Schmeicher's alibi was valid. So was Madame Verona's, since it was corroborated by the trust of France. But what does your alibi rest on, Mr. Adams?
Madame Verona's told you I was here at 7.
Yes, but Madame Verona is addicted to the use of drugs. I'm sure that you spotted that fact, Watson.
Yes, matter of fact, I did.
Your mistake, old chap, was in not drawing the correct conclusion. Mr. Adams' alibi depends on the unsupported word of a drug addict. Now, the use of drugs notoriously destroys, first of all, the sense of time. Any trick such as the resetting of clocks could be worked on her without her noticing. Her word on a time alibi is completely valueless.
Then Adams is the man
Fools, meddlers, why don't you... He's a murderer and a traitor. Well, now that we're back in Baker Street, Watson, I may as well tell you that I had my suspicions of Adams from the first.
Oh, you did? Why?
Well, my brother Mycroft had told me that he was suspected of being a traitor at heart. He's been under observation for some years. He was purposely given this assignment as a definite test of his integrity.
Well, I understand it all now, Holmes. It's the same. I did make an ass of myself in front of Lestrade, too.
Don't worry about it, old chap. Please don't worry. You always can correct that impression, you know. Yours will be the last word.
How do you mean?
Well, when you come to write this story in your memoirs, my dear fellow, you can always do a little, what you say, re-editing of your own part. Posterity never need know.
Doctor, that was really a swell story.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it. Sort of made me out of a bit of a fool, though.
Oh, nothing of the kind, Doctor. I agree with Holmes. You did a splendid job.
Oh, you really think I did?
After all, you did line up the suspects for him, didn't you?
Well, come to think of it, yes, of course I did.
And you did make the point that Madame Verona was a drug addict.
Yes, by Jove, so I did.
And you did say that Mr. Adams' alibi could be a lie.
By Jove, you're right. I did solve that case for Holmes after all. Mr. Bartell, did anyone ever tell you that you're really a very smart young man? I wish you and I could work on a case together.
We can. Starting tonight.
No. Really?
Sure. In celebration of National Wine Week, I brought you a case of Petri wine. And I suggest we start on it right now with a glass of port.
Oh, what a fellow.
What a wine. Petri wine. We know that's really good because the Petri family has been making fine wine since the 1800s. For generations. Ever since they started the Petri business, the Petri family has been turning luscious California grapes into fragrant, delicious wine. And during all that time, they've been handing on down from father to son, all their skill and knowledge and experience. The Petri wine you buy today is the result of all that skill and knowledge and experience. That's why you can't go wrong when you choose a Petri wine, because Petri took time to bring you good wine. And now, Dr. Watson, what's the prescription for next week's story?
Well, now, let me see. Next week, Mr. Bartell, I think I can promise you a most entertaining adventure. It concerns a famous magician, a female spy of unusual beauty, and a man even more brilliant than Holmes himself, his older brother, Mycroft.
Sounds terrific, Doctor. And before we say goodnight to our friends, I want to remind them that our men overseas need the Merchant Marine to bring them back home. The Merchant Marine got them there, and it'll bring them back, if you help. Right now, the Merchant Marine needs experienced mates, engineers, ABs, firemen, oil or water tenders, and chief cooks. If you qualify, write or wire collect at once to Merchant Marine, Washington 25, D.C. Bring the boys home. Tonight's Sherlock Holmes adventure is written by Dennis Green and Anthony Boucher and was suggested by an incident in the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle story, The Greek Interpreter. Mr. Rathbone appears through the courtesy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer and Mr. Bruce through the courtesy of Universal Pictures, where they are now starring in the Sherlock Holmes series. The Petri Wine Company of San Francisco, California, invites you to tune in again next week, same time, same station. This is Harry Bartell saying goodnight for the Petrie family. Sherlock Holmes comes to you from our Hollywood studios. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
All right, folks, it is now time for the discussion of the episode. Let me introduce my special guest. I want to welcome back to 221B Baker Street, Pat, Sampson, DJ Kristatos, the Watson to my Sherlock. Welcome back to 221B, Pat.
Hey, Jarrod, it's great to be here. You know, I decided to start my own cases that I'm working on. So wondering maybe if you want to help me work on this case and maybe the other guys want to help me work on this case. I think I got the right flavor of the case.
Case of what?
Petri wine, of course.
Oh, the case of Petri wine joke.
Yes.
Well, then, yes.
I saw like all the other guys just scratch the Petri wine case joke off their notes. Mm-hmm. And who are the other guys? Well, it's Jason the Weasel Skull Alberich. Welcome back to 221B, Jason.
It is not Jason the Weasel Skull Alberich. It is Joachim the Weasel Skull Albright.
Is this a German accent? Or?
I am. No, it's really me. I'm in disguise.
He's having a stroke.
He's having a stroke. Okay. And that brings us to our final guest, the little special guest. It's our old friend from Jeff and Rick Present. You might know him from Unpacking the Power of the Power Pack. Because the Power Pack don't stop. It is Rick Heineken. Welcome to 221B, Rick.
Sorry. I'm watching my goldfish right now. Just give me a moment, please.
Okay.
They're just fascinating creatures.
Would you like a glass of wine from the case I got, Rick?
Yeah, that'd be nice. That would go well with the goldfish.
Yeah, I like.
Do you like the goldfish?
Yeah, the goldfish is
Colonel Clink. You know nothing.
Well, like it or not, folks, this is your crew for this episode. So it is time to start discussing highs, lows, and what those. Of course, we're going to do 2 rounds. Pat will probably have a bunch of stuff to say when we're done. You guys know how it works. Let's start with our guest, Rick. I believe. You can correct me if I'm wrong because my memory isn't great, but this is your first first Holmes radio with us.
Yeah.
And so being that this is your first round, you know, usually we pick something specific, high, low, or what. I'm going to allow you 2 comments. One, what'd you think overall? You know, this is your first radio episode. And then you can roll into something specific.
I have a scratching memory now that I'm pushing up against my 50s of when I was a child, my parents giving me a couple of sets of old-time radio shows. I know for a fact that I had one set that was comedy, and I know I had one set that was horror, but in my mind, I want to say that maybe in that horror one, there was also a mystery one of Sherlock Holmes. I don't remember what episodes they were, but something about listening to this, and I've listened to you guys do this show. It's just kind of tickling in my mind. I loved listening to those old-time radio shows and those old-time programs, and there's something about that missing art form that we have. Podcasts are a bit of a replacement for it, but not the same thing, where you all kind of, before TV, you were gathered around the radio and you were listening to Fibber McGee and Molly or Arch Obler's Lights Out, and something just fantastic about that. So overall, I love this. I think it's a good medium. I think it's something that's missing the crackly nature of it all, the rough sounds, the rough editing that you hear on it, especially for us as podcasters. Like, man, they could have done that so much better.
Fun fact behind the scenes, right? Just so you know, when I get these audio episodes, because we do have modern audio technology, I actually fix some of that. Like these are like the better quality because I'm balancing them and I'm pumping it up. So yeah, there's a bit of Jarrod trying to make these better. But man, I love your thoughts on it because I mean that's one of the reasons I love doing the show. This is one of the very few shows where you get to hear the thing we're going to talk about because God bless the copyrights run out. But yeah, I love bringing the show to the audience because you get to experience it just like you were talking about. Anyway, back to you, Rick.
That's a big thing right there. I just love that. I did write down some notes about this. I will go with my first one on here. As I was listening to the beginning of this, when Holmes isn't there, you got the doddering old Dr. Watson just kind of putzing around Baker Street and, she's making me some scones and I'm going to have some tea. And then along comes Lestrade and he's sounding like an old man and Watson's sounding like an old man. Like, there's a mystery. Well, let's go in. let's pop off and go and find it. And we are two old men that are going to solve a mystery. And my thought was, they're just sending two old dudes to try to resolve an international incident. And they sound like two old codgers going off to pop off to the pub for some Skittles and beer. I mean, it's like, oh my God, this is the worst idea. Yes, they're going to fail because listen to them. Listen to them.
Well, come on now. Lestrange's a professional lawman.
And yet he's going and saying, yeah, sure, I'll take you, Watson.
Yeah,
sure.
whatever.
I know you're the idiot of the two, but come on, let's figure this out. I can't figure anything out on my own.
Like a sheep's head or something like that.
No, that's just what his mom says. That's just what his mom says.
Unless I got Holmes around, I can't solve anything. So let me take you, because when you're around, you can't solve anything unless Holmes is around. Together, we'll do a good bang-up job.
I have to jump in because I've just been rewatching the 54 Holmes that we covered on Saturday Matinee Theater. I've been rewatching the episodes. And there was one that was a lot like this. You fellas may remember. I think it was called The Vanished Detective. Holmes was gone. They're like Lestrade and Watson were investigating the disappearance of Holmes. And he was pretending to be a bookstore owner. This played out a lot like that. So, yeah, good. Yeah. Good first note. And with that, we'll go back to the Weasel Skull. What do you got, Jason?
I'm going to say a high, not for the story of the show, but I really appreciated the October 1945.
Yes,
we're at the
I was
end
hoping you were going to pick on that.
World War II. And something that I learned recently, because I read a lot of World War II stuff, as probably listeners of the show know, I finished this book on the war in the Pacific. And what I did not appreciate was how hard it was to bring those Marines and soldiers back from the Pacific Islands back home. And they went through a lot. And so when they're advertised on this, like, guys, we didn't know all these guys were going to survive, man. We need to get them off these islands. We need cooks. We need deckhands. We need, to me, I appreciated hearing that because it really reinforced what I had just read. Something I just never had an appreciation for. So that's one of my highs for today.
When I heard that, I was like, if Jason doesn't bring this up, I'm going to prod him on it, because I was like, to me, it's fascinating because we, a lot of these episodes are lost to time, but when we first started this podcast, some of them were in the earlier seasons, which were, quote unquote, a couple of years before where we are now. And it was by war bonds, Plan of Victory Garden. We all commented about how that was a fascinating peek into history. And now we're at that bring them home stage. And it just feels good. It almost feels like we're a part of it because we've been traveling along with it. Not to diminish people who really went through it, but like it's just a little touchstone that I think is exciting. So yeah, I noticed it too.
I actually thought you were going to mention something else, and that was the episode's about Germans coming over to work with Britain, and they're trying to resolve something that's going to be an international incident. And so we want to help the Germans, and this is right at the end of World War II. And I was like, wow. I mean, yes, it's based on Sherlock Holmes story. It's based on the 1890s, but it's still pretty impressive to be putting that out at this time.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to heal after
something.
4 years of war, yeah.
Interesting stuff. All right. We got the heaviness of the real world out of the way, Pat. So yeah, give us something silly. I know you were watching Watson. I know you were watching it.
Oh, yeah. But, just to kind of go off of what you were saying, Jarrod, I like listening to this old-time radios. And like Rick, I love listening to it, too. There's over the last few months, I've been falling asleep. I put earbuds in, and I just have a stream of just old-time radio playing, so I fall asleep to it. It's so awesome to go to. And like you said, what I hear is it's time capsule, right? It's a time capsule of that time, and it's really fascinating and just kind of makes me kind of yearn for those days of, kind of going back there and in those times and what it would have been like if I was listening to it for the first time. But the first time I listened to this one was earlier today, and I really enjoyed this. This was a fun one. We've had some, ups and downs, some good, some bad on this, but this one was a really interesting one, kind of a head scratcher of who it might have been that they went through. It was just kind of fun to listen to Watson kind of go through his process and what he's kind of had from Holmes, what he learned from Holmes. And then I don't want to take another good thing, but maybe somebody might bring up on the home side of it. But oh man, this is such a good episode because you had a little bit of Holmes, but this was really a Watson centric episode. He kind of pulls it off.
Yeah, this is a good one. Unfortunately, our friend Delvin the Dark Web couldn't join us for this one because he had a huge jiu-jitsu tournament over the last couple of days. I think he ended up sweeping a guy's leg and getting eliminated. I'm not sure.
No, that was Johnny. Johnny.
My bad. But anyway, but I was trying to sell it to Delvin because once I'd heard, I listened to it a few days ago, and I was like, this is a good one. Like, he's not going to miss this one because we do get a fun twist on things. Very reminiscent of, like I said, that 54 episode. I'm almost positive it's called The Vanished Detective.
When it came up and the guy wants him to, do the disguise, and I'm like, oh yes, it's Holmes in disguise.
Did you get duped in audio form?
No, I didn't get duped on that.
I got duped in audio form. Anyways, time to go into a second round. So it is back to Rick.
I did enjoy this one. I really did. And I just thought Holmes wasn't in it. This was, like you said, this was Watson's. But you just knew that Holmes was sitting there the entire time going, oh, this is going to be fun. I get to screw with my friends. Yeah. I got to mess with them. I got to try to dupe them. I got to try to dupe them with my disguise. Do you think they'll buy it? Oh, I hope. Oh, I know they will. And I'm going to have fun with it. There's no question of if they will or not. The question is, how much am I going to just screw it in on them? So that was fun. And just watch him going like, look at them. They think they're me. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, they think they could be me. That's so cute of them. So neat.
Like a proud papa.
They're not going to figure it out. They're not going to. Oh, you did a good job, Watson. You did a good job. I'll give you the answer, though. It's okay. It's fun. Good one for Holmes. Good one for Holmes.
Definitely a red letter episode for being a little different. Yeah. Over to Jason.
Man, I was laughing out loud a couple of times because Watson, he was just like made the fool out of the entire episode. It starts out with Miss Hudson like fat shaming him with the scones. I'm so distraught I can't eat anything. You fat you're gonna eat these scones. I'm gonna cook them. You're gonna eat them. We all know it.
No, I'm not gonna eat them. I'll leave them for Lestrade. Lestrade will eat them. Look.
Right. Yum. Lestrade's gonna eat them. Let me just go make some scones. That's all I got. I got a cabinet full of scones. Does
Watson keep butter in his pocket just for these occasions? Just like, let me just pull this out.
So, and then you skip to the end and he goes through the whole thing and he's puffing his chest pretty good. Like, so you must be a world famous detective. Oh, I do all right, and then he goes around, basically asks the same question to everybody, gets the same response twice, and then accuses Holmes. It was you. And then Holmes is like, no, you don't, son of a bitch. It's me, it's Holmes.
You child. Oh, you child.
Put some more scones in your mouth. This was rolling, man. It was funny. Very enjoyable episode.
I listened to him on my walks, and I was out walking and just laughing. I started laughing for them. He said his mother said something about knowing a sheep's head when I can't remember how he phrased it. Basically calling him a sheep.
Yeah.
He calls on himself. It's like, I'm very much like that goldfish. Yeah, you are.
Pat, you get to bring us home.
I don't know. Nobody kind of touched on it, but Rick kind of did in the beginning a little bit. But Holmes, once he knew he could do what he was saying, and then he was, he was just, oh, so you're the better detective than, and he just kept egging him on, and Watson's like, I'm like, Watson, don't do it, don't fall for it. And it's not me precisely, but then then finally he caves in a little bit and starts enjoying the fame that he has with this. But it's fun to see Holmes act that way. You know what I mean? Because that those two really have a great relationship, and it shows here not only in the two actors as well, just them playing off of each other like that. It just shows that where they begun and how they got to it, which is really interesting to me. And I find it interesting too, because I just so happened to be earlier, like starting last week, reading the first book of Sherlock Holmes. And so you get the story of how they met, yada, yada, Watson and them. And so as I'm reading through this, now I listen to this and you can just hear the distance between it and how they've gotten a lot closer together. Became really cool to me. One other thing I want to mention is the sound in this and the music. They use some music intros, a little bit more than what they have in the past, or at least from what we've listened to. And I really liked it. I got to give it up to, I don't know if they have, I would assume they probably had like a live orchestra or somebody there.
I think
doing
so.
Some of that, I must have had it because they just couldn't hit, hey, let me play the DVD on this one or the MP3 on it. But I thought it was really good and it made it flow and it had, I guess, some suspense, some just the interludes between, I think, really sounded good.
Yeah, I had the distinct pleasure back in somewhere around 2002-ish. NPR did some kind of a radio show, live broadcast recording the way they would have done it in this era at this big theater when I lived in Montgomery, and me and my friend Grant Potts went to that and just sat there and watched how it was done with the sound effects guys and it was just real. It was really fun. It's so how you see it in your mind, Pat, is that's pretty much it because I've seen it. I've seen it done. It's pretty neat. Does anybody else have any final thoughts before we move to scores?
Last little thing, when he comes back in after Watson's house is blown up and they say, well, at least you weren't injured. No, I was just concussed. You fool, that he is injured. I'm sorry.
That's why it's like a goldfish.
Just put in a coma for a little while. I'm fine.
That's 2025 injured. That's 1899. Run some dirt on it. You'd be all right.
A nickel for every time Watson was concussed. I mean,
we're keeping a count.
All you need, a little brandy, right?
A little brandy. See, what we don't know is that he sounds like an old man. He's actually 25, but after so many concussions.
Nice. All right. Well, with that, I believe it is time to score them. And as a reminder to our listening audience, we score these on a scale of 1 to 5 pipes. 5 means you loved it. 1 means you hated it. And you can figure out what goes in between. So, Pat, we'll start with you. 1 to 5 pipes on this one. Were you lighting all 5 of those pipes? Were you excited about this Watson episode? Or where you at, my friend?
Well, Jarrod, it's hard for me to give up on my pipes. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give 5 bottles of Petri wine.
Well, okay. Yeah, that's right. We did talk about making Petri wine the new scale.
Yeah. But pipes, wine, whatever. It's a party right now because it was such a great and fun episode. I really enjoyed it.
All right. Full 5 pipes or bottles of Petri wine. Either way, maybe both.
I'm up for both right now.
Pat and Dave's Pipes and Wine. Think that over.
Yep. It takes some time for Pat and Dave's wine, but it does really come out fine.
Thank you, Pat. Let's go to the Weasel Skull himself. Jason, 1 to 5. You pick pipes or wine. Up to you.
Well, it's the war's over. Troops are coming home. The show is funny. We've got the one guy that's going in saying, I was trying to sleep with this lady. And the lady's like, yeah, he comes in here and keeps trying to sleep with me. And that's the story. It's their alibi every night. I mean, I was laughing several times. I'm going to give it 5. 5 pipes, 5 Petri wines. Take your pick. It's getting a 5 for me.
Yeah, thinking back on the whole World War II-ness of it, I think that was mentioned in this one too. He said something like, now that quality meats are available again, just one more of those reminders.
And they're having a party. They're actually celebrating.
Yeah, the war is over. They don't have to ration as much. And then like Jason said, when you're in the middle of a full-scale war, you're not quite ready to bring everybody home. So, yeah, we've harped on it, but that is charming to me, very charming. Speaking of charming, let's go to the most charming guest on the show. It is Rick, not Jeff.
This is hard for me because I was leaning towards a 4, and I don't know if I want to be that guy, but I think I might have to be that guy. There's a couple things in this that did bug me a little bit, and maybe it's the 2025 eyes. I don't know. The mystery was very simple. It could have been solved a lot faster if Holmes just stood up and said, hey, I figured it out already. Don't worry.
I think he was having too much fun.
He was. I also hated the fact that Watson kept going, well, she's a drug addict, so don't believe her. I'm like, can we give her just a little bit more than that? Because it's like, oh, okay. And so I don't know about that. I'm going to lean just as a 4. I think it was a great episode. I enjoyed it a lot. I want a little more mystery in there and just a little bit more in there besides the good humor and frolicking that they did have. I'm going to go ahead and go with the 4. I'm going to say 4 bottles of wine. I'm going to just take one down and keep it for myself.
All right. That's fair. Because I was going to land on a 4 as well. I really like this one. It's a strong 4. 4 bottles of wine, maybe with a pipe on the side. You know what I'm saying? But you guys know me. I tend to really like the sort of, X amount of people in a room or a building. Here's
the good or mystery. Yeah.
Here's your list of suspects. Now figure it out. I personally will not trust anything a druggie says. So I'm just going to refute what Rick said.
And yet you trust me.
I was like, now I'm watching you. I'm watching you. Let me see your. Let me look in your eyes. Let me look in your eyes.
Look into my eye.
Honestly, for the folks who are deep on Holmes, it's kind of funny when he's like, I can't trust her. She's on drugs. I'm like, but Black Dynamite, Sherlock Holmes is on drugs.
Yes, that was the other thing too. I'm like, he's on drugs. I'm like, isn't your partner on drugs?
Your partner likes to dabble a little bit.
The Ugger Dre.
But yeah, I'm still going to give this solid 4 because I thought it was a lot of fun. It was a fun episode. And while Watson was the butt of a lot of jokes, it never crossed the line into where I just felt bad for him.
No, but he knew it though too, because he set it up in the beginning.
All of the jokes.
Yes, and that is what, whether you watch the movies or do the radio show, that is what Nigel Bruce does. He brings a comedic factor, and he is the butt of like all the jokes. Sometimes to the point where I feel bad for him. I didn't necessarily feel bad for him on this. What were you saying about that, Pat? I'm sorry.
He set it up himself that he was, it was the whole fish thing. And I'm just the guy that's like, my mouth is just open, close, and so he knew what this was about, and he still told the story because it was a good story.
That's true. He was willing to tell the story on himself. So good for him. I was kind of doing the math on that, by the way, because if this was 1945 and the story took place in 1890, so that's 55 years. And if it happened when Watson was, let's say, 45, he'd be about, 90 years old at this point?
Yeah. I still don't get that math of...
I always think that's interesting. I just think it's interesting that it's possible and plausible that he could be telling that story to the Petrie Wine guy as a very old man. I just think that's kind of cool.
Not with that many concussions. I'm sorry, I'm not muted. Apologize. I should have been muted there.
And he also has integrity too, because as Holmes said, like, you write the story, you could twist it around to make yourself a hero, but he doesn't. He tells it like it happened.
Exactly.
He's a good man. He's a good man, that Watson.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that is it for this episode of LBC Irregulars, the Sherlock Holmes podcast. I want to thank my guests, and let's see where they can be found on the internet. And we will start with our good buddy Rick from Unpacking the Power of the Power Pack. Where can they find all that?
Well, I do the podcast called Unpacking the Power of Power Pack with my dim-witted sheep's head goldfish wine drinking of assistant, Dr. Jeff.
He's got those dilated pupils all day.
Oh, so he did. So he did get his MD. Good. All right. Yeah. Good.
He did get his doctor.
He says he did. It's out of a box of Cracker Jacks. I swear to God.
Well, good for him. At least he got to use a winner.
All right. So yeah, check out Unpacking the Power of the Power Pack if you dig the Power Pack, or just Rick's nutty sense of humor in general. And Pat, where can folks find you?
Well, Jarrod, I'm glad you asked. You can find me on the X at Kristatos01.
Awesome. And of course, you can find me, Jarrod Alberich, the Yard Sale Artist, at Yard Sale Artist on X, Facebook, and Instagram. And remember, you can leave us a voicemail with your thoughts at 707-532-5269. That's 707-532-LBOX. Or you can comment on the show at LONGBOX CRUSADE. That's X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Blue Sky. And you can email us at contact@longboxcrusade.com. Your comments might just get played or read on a future episode. Thanks for joining us. As a reminder, we could not do this show and all the other shows of the Longbox Crusade Network without the support of our Crusaders Club members over on Patreon. And you too could join their ranks for as little as $1 a month at www.patreon.com/longboxcrusade. We'll now thank our Crusaders Club members as we ride off in our handsome cab. I'm your host, Jarrod Alberich, the Yard Sale Artist. I look forward to joining you on the next episode.
Alan W. Wright.
And Helica Wolf.
Ow. Auburn Elvis.
Bill Beer.
Billy D.
Bradley Dello.
Braxton Underwood.
Kerry.
Clinton Robinson.
Captain Entropy.
Clark Westfield.
Dave Collins. Battlewagon.
Eric Hodges.
Eric Porter.
Ezra Gallo.
Gary V.
Gene Hendricks.
George Meal.
Gerald Green.
My name's Kay.
James Hibden.
Django Unfettered.
Jason Keene.
Jason Lady.
Jeff Polier.
Jeremy L.
Jim Drummond. I hope you like Jim Drummond too.
If you don't like Jim, then maybe you like some Jim Meal.
Joe Man Conan.
Joe Thomas.
John Dr. Watson.
Josh Strickland.
Candace Ward.
Kathy Bright. The MVP.
Matt and Lissy Passo.
Mark Ross.
Maxwell Traber.
Michael Minton.
Miranda W.
P.D. Devons.
Paul Hicks.
Rick from Jeff and Rick Present.
Ronald Easterday.
Rob Morgan.
Samantha Maney.
Sean Urbanski.
Spidey 67.
Spreadsheet.
Steve Cronin.
Tim Price.
Tony Pennington.
Toronto Cop.